The wonderful thing about literary quotes is that sometimes an author strings together a series of words in such a way that they touch your heart and live with you forever. That's quite beautiful, don't you think? In today's video, my fellow Indian booktubers share their favorite literary quotes. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, I am Shaloo. Welcome to my channel where I post videos related to books. If you are new to my channel, then do subscribe for new bookish videos every week. Today's video is a special one as I have some amazing booktubers joining me for a collab. For centuries, books have provided inspiration, life lessons, and new perspectives that can influence the way we choose to live. I love reading and writing down good quotes. So I thought, why not ask my fellow booktubers to share their favorite literary quotes? A big thank you to all the booktubers who are a part of this video. You may be familiar with most of them, while some may be new to you. I will leave their channel links in the description box. Do check out their channels and the amazing content they create. I really enjoyed making this video and I hope you also enjoy watching it. Make sure to watch the video till the end because there are some beautiful quotes coming your way. Now without further ado, let's get started.
Hey guys, this is Maya from Bookshot. Shaloo ji asked me to describe a quote that I enjoyed reading from a book, and here I am with a simple sentence from Jhumpa Lahiri's latest book, Whereabouts. This is not a quote as of such, this is a very simple sentence from the book which impressed me a lot. So here is how it sounds like. I eat alone, next to others eating alone. The context here is that there is a middle-aged lady in this book who lives in a city, and there is an eat-out place where she goes every single day to have her lunch. This particular place is always crowded, but people who come there, they come alone, they have their food and they go alone, yet this place is so crowded. When I read that sentence, I stopped for a while. There is no explanation to this sentence in the book, it goes with the flow. Somewhere it gives away the core of human life. We all come into this world alone and we go alone. During this journey, we meet different other human beings and we call it a life. So this is how I interpreted that one sentence. I don't know if I am right or wrong, but this is what came to my mind while reading that line. So that's it from my side. Thank you for having me on your channel, Shaloo ji.
Hey everyone, my name is Meera. I have a YouTube channel called Meera Nayyar where I talk about books and TV shows. I am so glad to be here on Shaloo's channel telling you about one of my all-time favorite quotes. It is the one by Neil Gaiman from his book M is for Magic. The quote goes like, M is for magic. All the letters are if you put them together properly. You can make magic with them and dreams and I hope even a few surprises. The reason why I love this quote is because it perfectly encapsulates what it is to read, what it is to write, and why I am passionate about both. There is such power in words, in stories, that it can bring about a big change even on a minute level. I mean, I don't know where we would be if there were no stories, if there were no books, if we couldn't connect with each other and have shared experiences and, celebrate life. And that's why I love this quote. Thank you so much, Shaloo, for including me in this video. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, you really should.
Hi guys, my name is Madhurima. I have this YouTube channel called Madhurima Das where I talk about books, movies and sometimes writing. First of all, thank you Shaloo ma'am for giving me this opportunity of being on your channel. So my favorite quote is from Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. This is a story about a man who is in his late 30s and he's looking back upon the friendships and the relationships he had when he was a 20-year-old university student living in Tokyo. So the line goes something like this. I have this feeling like maybe 10 or 20 years after we get out of this place, we are going to meet again somewhere. And one way or another, I think we are going to have some connection. So this line is a beautiful, subtle tribute to the friendships that we have in school or college. I mean, we know that we are not going to stay in school, college forever. We have to move on in life for different opportunities. So it's a bittersweet feeling that, okay, we know that we have to go separate ways, but we are going to try our best to stay in touch. And who knows, maybe we'll again cross paths somewhere in life. So yeah, this was my favorite line and thank you once again for having me.
Hello guys, I'm Sai from the Book Dragon, and first I want to thank Shaloo ma'am for including me in a collaboration for the second time. And for this video, the quote that I've chosen is from this book, Siege and Storm, which is the second book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. And the quote is, "When people say impossible, they usually mean improbable." And it is said by one of my all-time favorite characters, who's Sturmhond, a privateer in this series, and he's also my most favorite character from this entire series. The thing which I like about this quote is that if you take a moment, read it, and reflect on some of the accomplishments that you feel you have done in your life, everything can be summed up by just this single quote. And this has helped me a lot in my personal life itself, especially in my last few days of college and in my job interviews, especially when I used to get very anxious. Apart from that, even in my daily life, I've thought about this quote hundreds of times, because every time when I think that something I want to do is impossible, there's this voice in my head from this character saying that it's just improbable.
Hey you guys, my name is Anshul and I run the channel Libro Review. I am so grateful to Shaloo to include me in this video. I'm going to be sharing my favorite quote from the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book has completely changed my life, and then this one quote is like so close to my heart. And the quote is, "You have treasures hidden within you, extraordinary treasures, and so does everyone around us. And bringing those treasures to light takes work and faith and focus and courage and hours of devotion. And the clock is ticking and the world is spinning, and we simply do not have time anymore to think so small." Oh my god, this quote is inspiring, this quote is motivational, this quote is enlightening, every single thing in one quote. We have so much within us and we keep waiting for something to happen, or we keep waiting for the right moment to let it all out. But we all have these treasures within us, and it is so important to let it out. Be ourselves, be who we are meant to be. And this quote always pushes me to do more. It pushes me to be more of myself instead of listening to the other voices in my head. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert is an amazing book. Not only this quote, but there are many other quotes in this book that I love so much. So if you haven't read the book, you should. Again, thank you so much for having me over here. And that's it. Bye.
Hi everyone, it's Nika from Pretty Little Bibliophile, and I want to begin by saying that I'm very thankful to Shaloo for having me on this amazing collab with these amazing other booktubers today. So my favorite quote is from the book The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, which also happens to be one of my favorite books of all time. And let me just tell you what the quote is before I let you know what it's about. "I was dominated, soul, brain, and power by you. You became to me the visible incarnation of that unseen ideal whose memory haunts us artists like an exquisite dream. I worshipped you." So the author Oscar Wilde was very much an important person in the aesthetics movement, and he really believed in art for art's sake rather than art for life's sake. And because of that, this quote really makes a lot of sense with its aesthetics and the portrayal of the obsessed artist. I really like it, and I think apart from that quote, you should also definitely read this book if you haven't already. Thank you so much, Shaloo, for having me. I hope you guys have a wonderful time getting to see all of these amazing booktubers share their favorite quotes as well. Take care.
Hey guys, this is Shruti and I'm more than obliged to be a part of this collaboration. So the quote that I would be talking about is from the book Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and the quote is, "To go wrong in one's own way is better to go right in someone else's." And I could resonate with these words so much, because I know how I and almost all of us try to fit ourselves into the boxes set by society, how we try to live our lives on the terms and conditions set by society and everybody else. And somehow all these things kind of affect our ideas and the way we live our lives. And it's very sad and it's very problematic at the same time that how we have been told to go to the conventional path which has been taken by so many other people. But it's very important to make your own path. It's very important to live your life on your conditions. Doesn't matter if you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the process. That's completely all right. It's all worth it as long as you are learning new things, as long as you are happy, as long as you're doing what you really want to do.
Alright, so let's talk about two of my favorite quotes from the different books. The first one, it is my most favorite quote from the book Lord of Rings, which says that all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. I always go back to this quote. I always think about what I have to do, what things I have to do in my life, what things I have to pursue, what things are the meaningful in my life, because this quote always gives me the finite ideas. This quote is always helped me to understand how to look for the life. And the second quote, which says that finite players play within boundaries and infinite players play with boundaries. This is from the book Finite and Infinite Game. It's a great quote just to understand. I mean, you have to understand your limit, and if you want to be the great player, then you always have to play with boundaries, not within the boundaries. So these are the two of my most important quotes. I hope you can resonate with this. And thanks for the collaboration, and make sure you subscribe to her channel.
Hi guys, I'm Sanadi from the channel Vlogger Girl. First of all, thank you so much Shaloo ma'am for having me in this video. And the quote that I have selected is from the book You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. And the quote goes like, I never needed a hashtag or a king to be a queen. I was born royalty. All I had to do was pick up my crown. Exactly. This quote is very special to me because it gives all the main character vibe and energy, and it teaches you that you are the freaking kings and queens of your life. You do not need any external validation, okay? Live your lives like you're freaking kings and queens. Yes. And also read the book. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Riniraj, and we are here to share a quote which has stayed with us forever. And the line I'm going to pick up is from Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. So let me read you one of my favorite lines. Woolf writes, I thought how unpleasant it is to be locked out. And I thought how it is worse perhaps to be locked in. This obviously is in the context of women and how they have stayed indoors, forced to stay indoors for years, centuries, probably forever. And she's giving us the situation of how difficult it can be to be locked out of your house, but how it is way more difficult if you're locked in the same house for years. And I guess in this lockdown, many of us are feeling what this feeling of being locked in a house is. And imagine women have been in that situation, and even today a large section of women are in this situation still, where they are forced to stay indoors and not live an independent life on their own terms. Thank you so much Shaloo for this collaboration where we could all come together and share our favorite lines. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Anushka and you can look for my channel with the name Wise with Grace. First of all, thank you so much Shaloo ma'am for making me a part of this huge collaboration. It means a lot, truly. And coming back to the quote which I like, I'll be very honest, there are numerous quotes which are my favorite. Each and every line which I ever highlight while reading means something to me and has affected me in a way. But to be fair, I'll just mention one of my recent favorite lines which I have read from my recent favorite book, and that is, you don't have to understand life. You just have to live it. And it is from Midnight Library. Oh boy, the thing is, this quote is very easy, but the impact it has had in my life, like for the last week, I'm just reminding this to myself each and every time, because I am a complete overthinker. I take things very seriously, but this one has helped me to lighten my mood at times. This quote has helped me to relax my mind a bit, because whenever I think and whenever I question things, I just remind myself, Anushka, you don't have to think so deeply. Just let it go. Just let it go and just live your life. You don't have to understand each and everything, because the possibilities in this universe are infinite. Anything can happen without any reason, without you understanding everything. So yeah, this is something that I am applying to in my life these days, and I wanted to share with you all. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Jyotishree from Life Simplified. First of all, thank you Shaloo ji for having me on your channel. And the quote that I want to talk about today is from the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And the quote is, only those who seek shall find. This is a quote that really stayed with me because, first of all, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a self-help book that I really enjoyed reading. Before this, I did not enjoy reading self-help books. And this quote reminds me every time that we should not suppress our curiosity and we should always look for answers. Earlier, I used to, not look for answers. Whenever I came across a new word in a book, I always used to anticipate the meaning and not, look for it in the dictionary or online. So this quote always reminds me that that's not something that I should do, and I should look for the right answers, and then only I'll get all the correct answers in my life.
My favorite quote? Well, there are lots of them. Every book has some hidden gems amongst the lines waiting to be found. There is one such quote which has stayed with me ever since I read it. And the quote is by Neil Gaiman from the book Coraline. Here's the quote. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. This is an awesome quote about slaying the not so real dragons. Although the dragons and monsters in fairy tales may not be real, but the difficulties, hardships and challenges in life are very much real, but they can be defeated. This quote inspires me to keep going and face all the dragons or challenges that life may bring my way. This quote is full of so much hope and possibility. Even if a problem is bigger or stronger than us, we can still overcome and defeat it if we face it head on. Gaiman's quote is strikingly simple, and yet the power in the meaning is overwhelming.
Everyone, I am Pavni from Pavni the Reader, and choosing a one literary quote was definitely a hard task, but I narrowed it down to this quote by Dick Riordan from the book Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and it goes, "If my life is going to mean something, I have to live it by myself." And the reason this quote inspires me is because it reminds me to take control back to my own life, because a lot of times in life we let others' expectations of ourselves drive us, and that is wrong, because it may lead us to forget our own intentions and our own motives, and in the end we might regret it. So taking back control of your own life is very, very important, and that is why this quote is important to me.
Hi guys, this is Shruti from the channel Fandom Newbie. So Shaloo asked me to basically make a video in which I talk about my favorite quote. So here goes. My favorite quote actually comes from The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, which is the first book in the Lord of the Rings series. Now, I'm a huge fantasy nerd. I absolutely love the fantasy genre, and the Lord of the Rings series is one of my all-time favorite book series. So, of course, my favorite quote had to be from this book series. Let me read it out for you guys.
All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost.
Now, if you've read The Lord of the Rings, you know that this quote actually corresponds to one of its main characters, Aragorn. But I feel like this poem is also something that's very meaningful for just about everyone. And that is because of the one line, which is, not all those who wander are lost. I feel like many times in our life, we do feel a little bit like we have strayed away from the course of our life, or we're trying to discover something new, or we're doing something new and different with our lives. But just because we do wander away from the course that is set aside by society, or that's just set aside by someone else's expectations of you or something, just because we do wander away from that course, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're lost. If we do have some amount of motivation, purpose, or just even strength and resilience, we can always get our life back on track, and we can always, have a happy and good life. And that's how I kind of interpret this poem, and that's why it's so meaningful for me, because in terms of my career, I've taken a very unconventional route and I've tried so many different things, and I feel like because I did that, I finally found what gives me a lot of happiness. So yeah, that's why this quote is very, very meaningful for me, and I feel that it resonates with me on such a spiritual level almost. Thank you so much, Shaloo, for including me in this collaboration, and yep, that's it. Bye.
Hey guys, this is Divyam and I hope you're all doing well. And first of all, thanks Shaloo for having me in this collaboration video. I totally love the idea and looking forward to it. So the quote I chose for this one is, the purpose of a storyteller is not to tell you how to think, but to give you questions to think upon. So it's a quote by Brandon Sanderson from my favorite series, The Stormlight Archive. It's from its first book, The Way of Kings. I totally love that series. And I know it sounds as if it is coming out of any non-fiction book because it's quite relatable and every person can actually relate with the same, because even if you are reading fiction, even if you are reading non-fiction, you get a lot many questions. A lot many questions are sought at you, and the answers to those questions actually reflect in our own real life, and that's the reason it is quite relatable and I like it. Being a management student, I got enough questions, enough answers, enough lessons from like fiction book, be it fantasy, be it any other genre. So yeah, we have to take lessons, and that's the purpose of storyteller, to view our thinking in different ways. That's the reason I'm choosing this quote and I just love it.
Hey guys, I'm Judy Snow from Judy Snow's Booktubers, and Shaloo asked me to tell you guys one of my favorite quotes, or my most favorite quote. And honestly, I have a lot of favorite quotes, but one of the quotes that has stuck with me till this date, ever since I've read this book, Gin Petrol on the Purple Line by Deepa Annapara, which is actually regarding, it's set in Delhi, and it talks about these kid detectives, and the book is written through a child's eyes. It talks about how there's a kid in the basti or the slum that has gone missing, and now these kid detectives need to find him. So a very interesting quote from this book that actually does still stay with me is, this is how it goes: "Believe me," the Badshah says, "today or tomorrow every one of us will lose someone close to us, someone we love. The lucky ones are those who can grow old pretending they have some control over their lives. But even they will realize at some point that everything is uncertain, bound to disappear forever. We are just specks of dust in this world, glimmering for a moment in the sunlight, and then disappearing into nothing. You have to learn to make your peace with that." And honestly, I don't want to dwell deep into the quote or anything, but the placement of the quote is very good, okay, to be honest. I really like where the quote has been placed. You need to know, if you want to know what's the context, you have to read the book because it's a spoilery context. But my point is that this is something that as humans we fail to realize, right? This is a quote that kind of tells us that, listen, life is pragmatic and we have to just accept it as and when it comes. So yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. That's like a quote that still stays with me as I'm trying to learn this thing. So yeah, this book's taught me something for sure.
Hi, this is Preet from the channel The Bookish Nook, and I am gonna tell you one of my favorite literary quotes from the book Infernal Device series. It's a series, so the quote goes like, "It was books that made me feel that perhaps I was not completely alone." I resonate to this quote so much. Most of the books that I read are ones which make me feel so much and make me feel that I am not the one who just feels this. There are so many, even though they are fiction characters, they feel that, and it makes me feel less lonely, and I really relate to it. Thank you, Shaloo ma'am, for this collab video.
So that's all for today's video. I once again thank all my booktuber friends for being a part of this video. All their channel links are in the description box. Do check their channels and show some love. And if you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and share. And if you want to see more bookish content like this, please subscribe to my channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Until my next video, bye and take care.